Have you ever heard of the alienation of affection law in North Carolina? I'm going to make you very familiar with it now. Most of you might not have heard of this, but there was I would say, landmark or maybe very controversial case that was out there in North Carolina. And I will give you a video here in a minute from Law and Crime that breaks all of this down. But this woman here, Brene Kennard, was a viral TikTok star, and apparently she stole someone's husband. And well, this now ex-wife has fought back in court and won. As you can see here from TMZ, TikTok star Brene Kennard, you had an affair with my husband. Pay up.
Tell them to bring me my money. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now let's scroll down here a little bit and read before I get into the actual law of alienation of affection. It says here, a North Carolina-based influencer learned about how rough breakups can be on Monday when she was ordered to pay $1.75 million after being found liable for ruining a marriage. Now, what is the alienation of affection law in North Carolina, you might be asking? Well, I'm glad you asked. Check this out. It says right here in North Carolina, and I Googled this, you can do this yourself. In North Carolina, alienation of affection allows a spouse to sue a third party for intentionally destroying the love and affection in their marriage through a divorce or separation is not always required. Though a divorce or separation is not always required. To win a case, the plaintiff must prove a genuine, loving marriage existed before the interference. The love and affection were alienated or destroyed by the defendant's actions, and the defendant's conduct was malicious and the cause of the destruction. A 3-year statute of limitation applies.
It's an evil world we live in.
Yes, yes, yes. What alienation of affection is? Let's read more. A lawsuit that can be filed by a spouse against a third party who is alleged to have broken up the marriage, often associated with infidelity, but does not require sexual intercourse to prove the claim. Can also be filed against individuals who are not romantic partners, such as an in-law or friend who maliciously interferes. So this is not just exclusive to an infidelity partner or a cheating partner. It can also be the family, and the infidelity doesn't have to be sexual in nature. It can also be, like a work friend, a work husband or wife, whatever, those kind of things. As long as they can prove that this interfere with the marriage and cause the subsequent breakup, they got a case. All right. What needs to be proven? A loving marriage. There must have been some degree of genuine love and affection between the spouses before the third party's interference. Alienation and destruction. The third party's action caused a significant decline or destruction of the marital love and affection. Malicious conduct. The third party's actions were intentionally and malicious with the goal of breaking up the marriage. Yes, indeed. Now, there's some landmark cases. I want to bring this to you as well. I got evidence, okay? If I can find it. Hold on a second. This is from WRAL News. From ancient times to influencers, NC still allows jilted spouses to sue. Now, let's scroll down here because there are some landmark cases, but let me give you a history of the alienation of affection laws. It says here, let me make it bigger for y'all. In 105 BC, codes followed the Teutonic tribes allowed for a husband to delete a man for sleeping with his wife. In 1745, Winsmore versus Greenbank in the English Court of Common Pleas, the husband claimed a man maliciously and wickedly persuaded, procured, and enticed his wife. The husband won. At the time, a wife was considered property, and losing that property entitled a husband to compensation. It wasn't until 1866 that one of these cases popped up in the United States. The wife cheated, the husband sued, and he won. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Over the next 50 years, courts and lawmakers ruled wives were not property, of course. They had equal rights to their husbands, and if their husbands cheated, they could sue too. In the 1930s, lawmakers got worried about blackmail and extortion, saying alienation of affection didn't work anymore. In 1935, Indiana was the first state to ban it. So somebody said, well, you can't use that anymore because you're going to blackmail your wife or husband, whatever. So Indiana banned it and other states did. Since then, 42 states have banned suing a spouse over infidelity. Even England, the place where alienation of affection started, banned it in 1970. However, North Carolina is one of the 6 states that still have alienation of affection laws. Hawaii, Mississippi, New Mexico, South Dakota, and Utah are the other states that still recognize alienation of affection. Now, with all that being said, I want to take you to the video from, I believe it is Law and Crime. Now, Law and Crime, or should I say Sidebar with Jesse Weber, he's going to explain the sequence of events that happened that led to this lawsuit in the first place. So, I hope you're still here. I will leave a link to this in the description box for all of you stop pausing the video ninjas, for all of you stop talking ninjas. You can check the description box. You can watch this without my commentary or interruption or criticism. If you're still here, thank you so very much for your viewership and fair use.
Pick it up.
I'm driving.
Boy, when does that ever stop?
Who is she talking to, bro? Chill out.
Tim, when does that ever... Tim,
don't call me
please.
Tim either. Don't call me
No.
Tim.
When does that ever stop you from picking your drink up?
A bombshell lawsuit and a bombshell trial. A woman sued a social media star for having an affair with her ex-husband and destroying their marriage. And while not available in every state, North Carolina actually allows people to sue for this. And wait till you hear what happened at trial, where this online influencer, who represented herself, questioned.
By the way, I love the intro to Sidebar. I wanted to say I watch Law and Crime Network every day. And when Jesse Weber's introduction comes on, I love it. The music in the background, then he says, "Welcome to Sidebar." I love it.
The woman suing her. This was an intense showdown that all culminated with a major verdict. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Now, as we're talking about laws that you may not have heard of, here's a fun fact that you may not have heard of.
So real quick, y'all, after I got done cutting the video, I found the clip that shows all of the people that are actually involved in this lawsuit, because again, it takes some twists and turns. The actual Law and Crime video doesn't cover all this, but there is another channel called Scandal, which is a spinoff of Law and Crime. These channels are connected, and they're going to go into how they came to meet each other, right? So watch closely.
And from afar, Brene and Tim's relationship seems really sweet and loving.
Happy 1 year anniversary. 1, 2, 3. Yay. Let's eat. Hold on, wait, babe. Don't do so much. Babe.
This should be a thumbnail.
Okay, do it again.
And we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, right? I mean, Brene and Tim could very well have a sweet and loving relationship, but there's someone out there who has a different side of the story. This is Akira Seidner, previously Akira Montague. Do you recognize that last name? Akira is Tim's ex-wife, and here's where things get even more tricky.
Pay attention, y'all, because they're about to show all the timeline of how these two adulterers came together, because allegedly the other woman that was cheating on, that took this woman's husband, was also married as well. Check this out.
Akira and Brene reportedly used to be friends. For a time, Brene was married to this man, Devin Mayo. Devin and Akira are cousins. So a quick refresher. Akira and Devin, cousins. Akira was married to Tim. Devin married to Brene. And through all of this, Akira became friends with Brene. But Brene and Tim had a history. They actually dated in high school. Now, they went their separate ways. They married different people, but reportedly they started talking again and allegedly started up an affair. One thing led to another. Akira and Tim got divorced, and now Tim and Brene are married. So we've got the scandal side of things covered, but here's where the law and crime comes in. Akira has filed a lawsuit against Brene, claiming that she stole Tim away from her and alleging alienation of affection in a...
See, I got that part right. Good. back to the original clip. I'm sorry, the original video.
I saw this story, knew immediately we had to do it here on Sidebar. Because look, we cover, as you know, all different kinds of lawsuits, breach of contract, intentional infliction of emotional distress, assault, battery. I will tell you right now, I feel fairly confident in saying I don't think we have ever covered a lawsuit like this one before, where you have a very popular TikTok star who is being sued by a woman who claims that she essentially stole her husband from her. And believe it or not, in the law, there is an actual specific claim or claims you can sue for. I remember studying this in law school. I hadn't thought about it since then, and it was only now when I hear about the story that I remembered it. A few states recognize it. It's called alienation of affection, and you can also sue for something called criminal conversation, which is a claim here too. It's basically adultery. You can sue when someone has sexual intercourse with your spouse. And we're going to talk about this. This is a real thing. It is a real thing in the state of North Carolina where this is happening. So, it's back in May of 2024.
Now, I have to pause this because, of course, this is on YouTube, right? So, you know, copyright laws and fair use, all those kind of things, right? But now he's going to get into the breakdown because there are some twists and turns in the relationship that he had with his first wife. And then there's like a cousin, I think, or something else in there. And there's a lot, it gets crazy, but just make sure you're paying attention to the sequence of events, all right?
Akira Montague filed a $3.5 million lawsuit against viral TikTok star Brene Kennard. She's got over 274,000 followers on Instagram, nearly 3 million on TikTok. Talks about her life, get ready with me videos, doing product reviews, makeup lessons, and so forth.
Hey TikTok. So I have a couple things that I got from the TikTok shop that I want to show you guys. First up, this hydrating tint. If you don't want to wear a foundation, this would be great for you. If you've had this before, heard this brand, let me know.
And sometimes she appears with her husband, Tim.
Hi guys.
What's up, y'all? Hello?
We on here? Hey
What's up,
guys,
y'all?
it's Renee.
It's Tim.
And now, Brene and Tim have found themselves in Akira's legal crosshairs. Akira sued for something called alienation of affection. And basically, it's alleging, you are responsible for my marriage ending. In North Carolina, which is only one of a few states that recognize this, you have to prove there was a real affection, real love between two people in a marriage. There was clear proof that a third party intentionally interfered with that marriage, and that the love, the marriage, the affection, it was destroyed, meaning the love was, quote, alienated. Is that easy to prove? Is it easy to prove in this kind of case? And you know why we're talking about this right now? Because the trial just happened. We actually just got a verdict on how all of this played out. Plus, Brene represented herself during this trial. And before we even get into the trial, back in September.
Now, I would like to say this woman represented herself in this lawsuit. I mean, no wonder she lost. This woman is a viral TikTok star, all right? And you mean to tell me that you represented yourself in a case that could have lost you, essentially did lose you millions of dollars. All right, now I'm pretty sure somewhere in there you could have, like most people do, put it on the other person. This case, the man, you could have put it on the guy that actually you cheated with, which was this woman's husband. But you in there represent yourself. What kind of evidence do you think you had that would have won you this one? For one, you know you were guilty in the first place. With good representation, you might could have beat it. This was dumb. But yeah.
Got to mention this. Brene was charged with cyber stalking after Akira filed a formal complaint against her, accusing the social media star of harassing her online, showing up places, a filing saying, quote, Kennard constantly mentions my name, as well as posts my name and answers questions pertaining to my personal life and pending cases. And there was also an allegation that Brene violated a restraining order that Akira took out on her. Now, Brene was released at the time on a $2,500 bond. But when we talk about bad blood, it should also be noted that just days before Akira filed her lawsuit against Brene, there was a warrant that was issued for Akira's arrest, that she was purportedly threatening Brene by allegedly saying, I will kill you, and I will beat your bleep, and I know where you stay. This is according to the warrant. So in that criminal case, by the way, prosecutors allowed for Akira's prosecution to be deferred in exchange for 12 months of unsupervised probation, and she had to complete anger management classes and have no contact with Brene. Bad, I know. So let me bring on an attorney who specializes in family law and divorces, Randy Kessler. Randy, thank you so much for taking the time. Have you ever handled an alienation of affection case, a criminal conversation case? I mean, is this common? I know it's only in a few states. Have you ever handled anything like this?
So in a roundabout way, we certainly have. So it's only in 5 or 6 states. I practice primarily in Georgia where we don't have it, but we do have jury trials in Georgia. And so a lot of times what happens is
So y'all got that, right? I mean, you represent yourself. You had all these people in the mix. You stole this man's husband essentially, and then represent yourself in a case that lost you millions of dollars. And now, I don't know what's gonna happen to your TikTok channel because now you owe money. I don't know if this guy's even gonna stay with you with this going on now. He's been embarrassed and humiliated. Both of you really have been embarrassed and humiliated. So, what can you do now? I mean, yeah, this is sure a buffoonery, and this goes beyond skin color. What happened here, because this could happen to anybody, of any race. But this happened in North Carolina, and this woman just happened to be able to take this woman to court for this and won. So she adds her name to the list of cases of people that's already done. As a matter of fact, let me go back to the other article I just showed you. And let's go down here. Because there are a plethora of cases since 1999 to this current one with her where this law has taken place. This person won $500,000. Let's see here. This one, Carol Pure, was awarded $30 million, 2017. Let's see here. They tried to ban it, but it didn't work. Let's see here. In 2018, Fletcher Cox was sued by a North Carolina man. I think I remember when that happened. 2021, former state senator Rick Gunn settled a lawsuit for $3 million by Arthur Johns. And now, TikTok influencer Brene Kennard has to pay $1.75 million. Hey man, all I gotta say is, fellas, brothers, sisters, if you're out there, I mean, we're in the world we live in, right? People are not above cheating, okay? However, watch what you're doing, because in the wrong state, in the wrong situation, I mean, the worst part is you can lose your addiction to oxygen. But besides that, you can lose $1.75 million, all right? And with that being said, thank you for taking another episode of the Working Man Podcast. I am your host, Nicholas J. Fury. Let me know what you think about this case. And do you think there should be any actual penalty for this kind of activity, this type of behavior? Or do you think the best thing is just to move on, be better? What say you? All right? Let me know down in the comment section. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the notification bell, and we out of the door. And remember, just like Miss Bernard here did, I believe, what's her name? Miss Brene Kennard. Reality checks are free. See you next time.